huge news breaking. The ICJ votes in overwhelming favor, 13 judges for and 2 judges against, to issue an order for Israel to cease all military operations in Rafah immediately.
The state of Israel shall, in conformity with its obligation under the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, and in view of the worsening conditions of life faced by civilians in the Rafah government, A, by 13 votes to 2, immediately halt its military offensive and any other action in the Rafah governorate which may inflict on the Palestinian group in Gaza conditions of life that would bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. In favor, President Salam, Judges Abraham, Yusuf, Shway, Bandari, Iwasawa, Nolte, Charlesworth, Brown, Gomez Robledo, Cleveland, Oresco, Tlad. Against Vice President Sebutinde, Judge Ad hoc Barak.
Now, as many people are mentioning, all the judges are Hamas, correct? Sorry. Hamas. No, but actually, as all the people are mentioning right now, how are they going to enforce it? How's the ICJ going to enforce it? Are there any warrants? Like, who's going to hold Israel accountable? I want to say a couple things. I agree with you, Marianne. First of all, we don't need to immediately go to doomerism, okay? Okay, because you have to understand that's what the U.S. government wants you to do. That's what Israel wants you to do. They want you to cave and say, well, there's nothing we can do. And you're playing immediately into their hand and giving Israel what they want when you do that shit. And I don't like to see villains win. I like to see them lose, and I like to see villains get their shit stomped in. I like when bad things happen to bad people and bad countries and bad governments. Okay? So that's my first stance. Second, this is like very unprecedented. Okay? We've never seen anything like this before, so we don't know how it's going to play out just yet. Okay? So let's at least try and wait it out and see what happens. Next, you have to understand that this ruling alone makes it 10 times easier to convince the general public that what is happening is a genocide. What is happening is an ethnic cleansing. There are a lot of people that will say, yeah, well, how do I know what's happening is actually a genocide? It's like, oh, well, did you see the ICJ case? Like, did you see everything that was brought to the floor? Did you see that the criticisms against them? Did you see the direct quotes brought, to the court from from Ben Gvir or from any of like the ministers in power in Israel? Yeah. Did you see that the 13 out of the 15 judges, voted to have Israel cease all military operations because they feel like they have enough evidence that what is happening is war crime after war crime after war crime? And if we can get the general public to all be on board, the U.S. government can't get away with everyone in their country rioting. Like a big part, this is just one, and I'm not claiming this is the whole reason why. This is just one part. But a big part of the reason why the Vietnam War played out the way that it did was because of protesting, was because of rioting, because people saw their loved ones going to a war that we had basically no reason to be in, no reason to be invading. I'm using these terms a bit more generally, a little bit more liberally. But we saw the U.S. participating in something we disagreed with. Same with Laos. And we saw the U.S. intervention that was not required or necessary. And Americans got fucking pissed. And the U.S. government couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything. They had to say, oh, shit, people are really mad about this. We can't just ignore it. We can't just pretend like we're justified when all of our citizens are mad at us. And it's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. If you can get the majority, if we can get 80, 90% of Americans mad, genuinely angry about this, pressure changes policy. We didn't get rights for gay people and start getting rights for trans people by just shutting the fuck up and doing nothing and saying, well, we're never going to get the rights. We didn't get rights for Black Americans or for women in America. We didn't get that just by shutting the fuck up and doing nothing. No, you keep fighting. You keep fighting and fighting and fighting until you have so many people on your side that you can't be ignored. And I know from my personal experience, I was talking to someone who was like, yeah, but like, how do you know what's happening is a genocide? And I said, well, have you seen the case that South Africa's brought to the ICJ? And they were like, well, what is South Africa? I was like, oh, I mean, you know about the apartheid stuff? And they were like, well, no, I don't really know that much about it. And I was like, don't worry, it's not relevant. Basically, this country that's dealt with apartheid that basically all countries nowadays side with, there was an apartheid regime in the country, and they are basically suggesting that Israel is conducting the same sort of malicious behavior. And if you listen to the hearing, it's all available online. If you listen to the hearings, they bring up quotes from people in positions of power, and like from people in positions of power in Israel saying shit like, we need to raise Gaza. When we're done, there will be nothing and no one left in Gaza. The Gazans will have no food, no water, no electricity. They are all animals in Gaza. Like, it doesn't matter what some random IDF person posts on Twitter or on TikTok, excuse me, because on TikTok, it's like you can claim, oh, those are like bad actors. We don't claim them. Those are bad actors. Every war is going to have bad actors. How do you defend people in positions of power in Israel saying actively genocidal language? How do you defend that? You can't. You can't just ignore it. It's in an official court. And Israel admits that their people said that. And they were convinced so quickly. Like, there's someone who generally is convinced by facts and stuff. I know not everyone is like that. And there are a lot of people that are not convinced by facts. And those people, in my opinion, it's pretty good to just show them the war crimes that are happening and show them like any of the thousands of videos of like parents holding their dead children and be like, I don't know, man, do you think this is cool? Do you think this is okay? Do you think a dad should ever have to fucking amputate his daughter's leg without anesthesia or clean medical equipment? The dude is using soapy water to amputate his daughter's leg because they don't have anything. In what just world does this happen, right? But for the people that do love to see genuine facts, which those people also exist, different strategies and different tactics, right? I told them about this and I told them like, hey, what about all these quotes from all these government officials that are using actively genocidal language? Don't you think that that is impacting how the IDF operates? Don't you think this sort of signals what type of strategy Israel's going for? And they were like, wow, I didn't see those quotes. I've actually never, and I mean, they're in an official court. I have to, there's no way that, I mean, like Israel's basically owned up that their public officials have said this. Oh, that's really bad, huh? Wait, is Israel actually trying to cleanse them? And I'm like, yeah, they are. So we take any bit of progress that we can. And in my opinion, this is a huge, huge step in the right direction. Things like that and things like this. Israeli sniper kills Palestinian child playing with his bike in Jenin camp. Just so everyone's on the same page, Jenin camp is up here. Here's where Gaza is. That's interesting. If it's about Hamas, why is some random kid being killed by a fucking sniper all the way up here? Is it possible it's not about Hamas? And then like the Israeli propaganda that isn't even trying. I don't know how many people saw this fucking 2008 Flash animation Newgrounds looking ass fucking animation, but I am gonna throw up.
Time to launch my GoFundMe for Gaza. Voila! Oh my, they love me! Yes! It's go time. Fabulous!
Sometime after, deep in Gaza. How do you feel after getting to see Rafah?
I feel on top of the world. Time to launch.
You guys agree this looks like it's a Flash animation posted in 2008 on Newgrounds, right? The original poster says,
Time to launch my...
the second video of the new is really cool animated series done with the talented Israeli animator. Is the talent in the room with us? It's been 2 days. I'm still waiting to see the talent part of talented. Israeli propaganda is always like, we're actually the ones who accept you, you disgusting F slurs. And like, that is really genuinely. I love that Israel thinks that, and Israelis think if they push enough propaganda that everyone will conveniently forget that Israel doesn't even allow gay marriage in their country. Like, they don't like gay people. They deal with gay people to pretend like they're progressive. Or shit like this. Look at this fucking Stop Anti-Semites Twitter page. And it sucks because usually, or it used to be the case that if you saw a Twitter page like this, you'd be like, oh, based. Yeah, I fucking hate anti-Semitism, based. And now so many of these pages have like shown their true colors. And it's like, no, actually, I'm not an anti-Semitism page. I'm just like a pro-Zionism page. Meet Ireland's FM Michael Martin family on October 7th. Hamas terrorists kidnapped his daughter into Gaza. Today, he announced he is rewarding his daughters with the state of their own. Lunacy, right? Why are you doing this? I can't find any reports about his daughter being kidnapped into Gaza. And I think that would have made the news. No? This is a hypothetical comparison for illustrative purposes only. Are you saying his daughter was kidnapped, or imagine his daughter was being kidnapped? I'm confused. This is a hypothetical comparison for illustrative purposes only. It never happened. This is a hypothetical comparison for illustrative purposes only. Source? I made it up. I made it up. I made it up. Like, they're literally not even trying anymore. They're just... The insane Zionist pages, they're just, like, making shit up and being like, wouldn't it be crazy if this happened? Wouldn't it be insane, though, if this happened? It would be pretty crazy, right? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?